Everybody wants to be able to do it, but like they talked about, and like they talk about ad nauseum, the way the new cap is set up with the aprons and all that, it's extremely punitive. And then if you're a repeat offender, they start taking picks away. So like it's really, they're not playing. Apparently, and this is weird, apparently what Adam Silver and the NBA wants, they want the level of parity like the NBA has. So you don't know who's going to win every year.
But
not the
irony,
NFL, excuse me.
But the irony,
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
The irony of all this is the teams that do these things don't win.
Right.
Teams potentially losing picks, teams in the second apron, like teams are all trying to get the hell out of it. Like they're the Celtics just purged their roster of anybody that's making like above 10% of what they should. They're like, you're out of here. You make 30 million, gone.
For real.
Gone. Like you're gone. And like you got new owners of teams, and they're just like, I need to get control of this financial situation.
But they don't get that it takes money to make money, and they make tons of money.
They will eventually, Bruce, they will eventually on their schedule. They'll figure it out. They'll make the plunge at some point.
They don't want to do it off somebody else's decisions.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a great point.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live, Wednesday night edition.
Wednesday.
And guess who's back? You know what's funny, man? It seemed like Transformer been gone forever. He was only gone for like a couple days, but it seems like it was forever.
Yeah, last Wednesday.
Yeah. That's all right, man. We had an admirable fill-in with our main guy, Sneed. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, he should be popping up to join us again shortly. We got some great sports talk to do. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast. We should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us a like, leave us a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the content we're delivering you, make sure you hit that join button. There's going to be exclusive content here just for you. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, fresh off of, one of the most legendary seasons in history, right? Joining very, very elite company, Kareem, Michael Jordan, and Shaquille O'Neal, leading the league in scoring, league MVP, finals MVP. And of course, he has something that the other guys didn't have an opportunity to play for. Also, Western Conference Finals MVP. Nobody else has ever done that. I don't really count the conference finals MVP and those things, because those other guys, they would have won it had they had that opportunity, right? But they didn't. But regardless, he just had a hell of a year, did it all, first team all NBA, blah, 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 right? So cool, did it all. And as a result, SGA is now the proud owner of what, Transformer?
The richest contract in NBA history. 4 years.
For now.
Correct.
Still.
Yeah.
Still. All right, but I get your point.
4 years, not in total money, in AAV, right? So let's keep that.
4 years, $285 million super max extension, meaning in the year 2027 to 28, he's going to have a $63.5 million year. 28-29, he's going to have a $68.5 million year. 29-30, he's going to have a $73.5 million year. And then his final year, 30 to 31, he's going to have a $78.7 million season.
That's a lot of bread.
It's a blank check, essentially.
And granted, not even make it to 30-31 because he's going to re-sign again.
They're going to re-up him.
And go re-up him again.
They can extend them with 2 years left on the deal, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if he keeps playing at a high level, like if he brings in another chip, maybe, a couple more first team all NBAs, right back on it.
Yeah.
It's amazing how this sports thing goes, because With Jason Tatum signed for what? 5 years, 315 last year.
315.
Right. So
like
that was the
1
biggest
year.
contract, and now SGA has now jumped that.
The richest
That's a
annual
lot of
salary in
bread.
NBA history.
You know what he's gonna have? Listen, I'm about to date myself right now. Remember that cartoon DuckTales when we were kids?
DuckTales, yes.
He about to have the money bin like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Swimming through the money.
Back up the Brinks trucks, bruh.
What? He about to have a money bin. Yeah, that's a lot of dough, man.
That's a
lot of dough.
lot of money, but well deserved, man. As we know, SGA in the last 2 years, every single year, 2022, 2023, he finished 5th in MVP voting, made first team All NBA. Last year, he finished number 2 in MVP voting, even 7th in Defensive Player of the Year voting, first team All NBA. And of course, this season, he eventually won the MVP, and again for the 3rd consecutive season, first team All NBA, averaging 32.7 points, 6.4 rebound, 6.4 assists, and 5 rebounds on a whopping 52% shooting from the field.
That's crazy, being that he's a mid-range shooter. I thought the mid-range was the most worthless and most difficult shot in the game. Isn't that what they said?
I thought it was hard. Yeah, I'd rather shoot from 35 feet.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
35, 37, 38 feet. Like, that's me.
Yeah.
The number keeps going up.
SGA made the mid-range look easy. I don't know.
You know, 41 feet if he's feeling froggy, you know what I mean?
They put that in the 3 versus 3. The big 3. What they call it? Big 3? The Ice Cubes joint. What's it called?
Big 3.
Big 3. They got the 4-point.
They got 4-point shots now?
Yeah, okay. 4-point shot. Yep.
I hope they don't try to bring that to the NBA. They better not.
It's just NBA Jam, bro. That's all it is. He's heating up, bro. It's in the shoes.
Is it the shoes? Is it the shoes? Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka. That's right.
Boom shakalaka.
No, for real. DuckTales, man, it's real. He's got that much money. He's gonna have a money bin. He definitely is gonna have a money bin. That's crazy, man. But so I think the interesting part here is not just that he got a well-deserved Supermax extension. That's awesome. But now it's going to be interesting to see how Sam Presti works this cap going forward, right? Trying to keep the core elements of this team together in order to try to pursue, a repeat and then possibly multiple championships, right? Everybody wants to be able to do it, but like they talked about and like they talk about ad nauseum, the way the new cap is set up with the aprons and all that, it's extremely punitive. And then if you're a repeat offender, they start taking picks away. So like it's really, they're not playing. Apparently, and this is weird, apparently what Adam Silver and the NBA wants, they want the level of parity like the NBA has. So you don't know who's going to win every year.
But
not the irony, NFL, excuse me.
But the irony,
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
The irony of all this is the teams that do these things don't win.
Right.
Teams potentially losing picks, teams in the second apron, teams are all trying to get the hell out of it. Like the Celtics just purged their roster of anybody that's making above 10% of what they should. They're like, you're out of here. You make 30 million, gone.
Gone.
Like, you're gone. And you got new owners. New owners of teams, and they're just like, I need to get control of this financial situation.
But they don't get that it takes money to make money, and they make tons
of money. They will eventually, Bruce, they will eventually on their schedule. They'll figure it out. They'll make the plunge at some point.
They don't want to do it off somebody else's decisions.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point. But yeah, what I want to see is how this mega deal with SGA, as you can see, he's drowning in money there. But I want to see how this deal is going to affect the guys, that are going to be coming up. Lou Dort's going to have to get paid. Chet Holmgren's going to have to get paid. Jalen Williams going to have to get paid. But you can't ever pay everybody, right? Yep. So now what do? You start making decisions. And, so let's say, guys, that they're all up for pay within the next year or two, which sounds about right? Who would you pay first in terms of trying to Jaylen. Yeah, who would you pay first?
J-Dub.
Pay Jalen.
Do you?
Yes. Yeah. J-Dub. Yeah.
Why not Holmgren? Why not Chet?
I think Chet's 3 years away, and I think J-Dub is doing. I think he's 2 years away.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at it from that standpoint. It's okay. And J-Dub is a more productive player based on the most recent season.
Yep.
You know, I'm looking at the NBA Finals. I know
Mhm.
what I saw in J-Dub.
That's true.
Not
But
that Holmgren played bad. I
right.
saw what he did when the team needed
Yeah.
points. He provided,
Yeah.
right? And he's a good defender. You know, Chet offers value, but it's just in a different way.
Yeah.
And you're more likely to be able to replace what Chet was doing
Mhm.
at a discount versus what J-Dub is doing is a premium, right? So
Yeah.
Right. I like what Chet brings you on the defensive end. That's what I'm thinking about. I guess I got to get out of this old school mindset, but
You do.
I love the fact that yes, I know. I'm trying.
But collectively, the team is good defensively.
Yeah, but Chet, I mean, again, he's not going to be D-Rob or he's not going to be Dream, but Chet cleans up a lot of stuff on the back end if guys get beat, and I like the fact that he's able to do that. I'm not going to call him an eraser, but he's a really good backline help defender.
What's easier to get? A guy averaging 25 a game in the finals, or a guy averaging 9 or 10 rebounds in the finals?
A guy averaging 9 or 10 rebounds in the finals. Easier.
I'm gonna look at it from the premium production. Like what elements?
Okay,
I'm gonna help you out on that, Sneed. Who did you just draft? A potential replacement.
Okay. Yes.
So you are like the OKC's already thinking ahead. Like, hey, we just got Thomas Sober out of Georgetown. He's a good. He's a solid big. And I now have 3 on him.
Chet Holmgren would have to like really, really get better for him to command what J-Dub just did. What he's going to command, right? Like he's going to have to level up offensively. He's going to have to be basically as productive as J-Dub almost. Yeah. And then still give you those things defensively and with the rebounding and the things like that.
Good point, Woodage. Good point. All right. I stand corrected, gentlemen. I stand corrected. Now,
if we're talking about timing, right? If Jalen Williams had a couple more years before his contract was up and Chet was able to get paid right now, I'll pay Chet now.
That would change things, yeah.
I would pay Chet now. Why? Because he hasn't made no NBA teams, no defensive teams. So guess what? That money, that salary is going to be low. Now when Jalen's kicks in, I'm like, okay, I could spend the big bread on him.
Isn't that what Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract, how it played out? Like they were happy that he didn't make a certain
they said
like
LeBron
all
took
NBA team.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, you guys made good points, man. I can't argue those anymore. I was just thinking of it in my old school hard-headed way. But no, you guys make great points.
Old school, you would have dug in. You're not that old school. You're part old school.
Yes,
old school, you would have dug in and be like, nope.
No, but I mean, you can't, like you said, you got a guy that's giving you 25 a game in the NBA Finals. Like that is hard to come by. So you gotta hang on to that if you got it. Yeah, you got a mean 1-2 there. So no, I get it. All right, let's go ahead and
drop 40 something, right?
Yeah, he dropped 40, 41, 42.
Yeah, something like
Chet,
that.
Like and he's
Chet never approached. I don't think Chet approached 30 in any game. I don't know if he did. He have any 20-point games?
I think he had one.
I think he had one. And I think he had a couple of big rebounds.
It was like 15 points.
I also
early.
remember Chet disappearing in the second half of multiple games.
Yeah.
You know, so his age, maybe he needs to come along a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Let's take a couple calls on this. We'll open up the phone lines 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. Let's take 2 calls on this. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on SGA's mega deal and how you think it affects OKC going forward.
Salary cap, I think, is 180 million, 170 something, and then it's going to be next CBA will be something like 187.
That's still crazy when you think that there's going to come a point where he's going to be making $78 million. Like that's, you know what I'm saying?
But, okay, well, how quarterback money? What do they make in terms of?
Oh, agreed.
You know, like the percentage, like the share of the annual salary of a team. You know, you look at it like that.
Yeah, it's like 40 to 50% a lot of time
right.
for the elite guys. Yeah,
it kind of like comes together in a way, you know. Yeah, they got some guys they're gonna have to pay, and I think Caruso looking at his age, this is you're getting the best years you're going to get out of him. And Lou Dort's interesting. If he continues to be a contributor offensively, that makes things really muddy from a contractual standpoint. He increases his value. Like defensively,
he need his defense.
He is it. But like if he becomes 15 a night and he's shooting 40% from three, and he's locking up the other team's best guy, like I mean, he's ultra valuable. Those guys, they're the most important thing in this league.
That is correct,
bro. Bruce Bowen made a career out of hitting corner threes and harassing the other team's best perimeter player.
Sure did. Quick side note, if y'all remember, man, Bruce Bowen, he was so dirty. Do y'all remember when he ran trying to close out on Zerbiak and flying side kicked him in his face?
Bruce Lee Bowen, bro. Bruce Lee Bowen.
There you go.
Yes, bro. Hey, how about this for a Bruce Bowen stat? There was one year in the playoffs, which included them a finals run in the championship. He shot 53% from the corner three and 52% from free throw. Yes.
Damn.
How does that happen?
Whatever it was, I don't know, 05, whatever, one of the years, Bruce Bowen shot 53% from the corner three and 52% from free throw.
That's not supposed to happen.
It's not, but like that's how open he was, right? And that's how short that shot is, right? By the way, people don't make it as much as they used to. They still take it, but they're not making it as much as they used to.
It's crazy. He was a horrible free throw shooter.
That's crazy. A guard. How are you a guard in the NBA and can't shoot free throws?
He wasn't that traditional guard, though. He didn't handle the ball, bro, and none of that.
Career.
But you're still an NBA guard. Like, they're free throws.
I mean, he was a forward, but, I get it.
Was he? He was a three? I thought he was a two.
I think
Bowen played the three.
Yeah.
I thought Sean Elliott played the three.
Sean Elliott was a shooting guard, I thought.
I thought he was a small forward.
Okay.
So I had him back then. Okay. All right. Well, looks like we're not going to get any calls on that. Let's go ahead and let's take it to the next topic.